My job, in many ways, is to make stuff. Most of the stuff I make goes fast, or explodes, or is meant to go fast, but instead it explodes. But sometimes it's nice to let the existential horror of the human condition take a relaxing drive through the countryside and join me as we put together a coffee table. Given a long enough timeline, the boxes of parts and pieces I carry around and have in boxes in my garage will eventually be used for something, and this is no different. It's the odd one out of the big Mercedes V12s. The M137 was never the fastest or the legend that sits on either side of its lineage, but it's a perfectly fine motor. Aluminum block, 3-valve per cylinder, and it only existed for a few years in the highest trim of luxury sedans. For being the odd one out, it's still awfully good at being an engine. This one had over 150,000 miles on it, and outside of some bore scoring on cylinder 1, I ran and drove it to where it sits today. As some of you may notice, my gear train is fairly simple. It's just a 12-volt electric motor driving a worm gear at a 50-to-1 reduction, and then a belt drive from an 18-tooth to 180-tooth timing gear, bringing our 3,500 RPM motor down to a civilized 7 RPM. This is revision 5 for my designs driving the rotating assembly. Originally, the bottom half was attached and I made a unit to fit where the oil pump lived. This proved to be less effective once I removed where the oil pump lived, thus sending the motor and the gearbox to live in the bell housing where it quietly spins the assembly. To start off with, we use a tree that's been boiled and bleached white to trace a pattern onto a different tree, the latter being an 8/4 slab of red oak. Don't be fooled by Big Lumber's attempt to scare you off with fractions. 8/4 just means a 2-inch rough cut. I like oak. It's strong, takes color well, and it's still workable while being easier to spell than mahogany. If you can tell, I don't work with wood much. It's too bad because I really enjoy working with wood. There's a calming effect to wood that there just isn't with metal. In the same way you can wax poetic about the beauty of nature and the experience of wilderness, there's no spray of coolant here or hot sparks flying unless you hit a nail. Metal has the same complex structure of grains that wood does. You just have to pull out a microscope, and sometimes you just don't want to do that.
In a spin again, and my heart won't let me begin to see I've got nothing to win. In a spin again.
And there we go. I had a lot of fun putting this together. If you enjoyed it as well and you're actually interested in purchasing this, follow the link in the description below. I've decided to set up kind of an auction for it, and the bidding starts at a penny, and it'll go from there. We'll see what happens. I've never done anything like this before, so kind of new. I don't really have a spot to put this, and I just really wanted to build a coffee table out of this, so here we are. Anyways, if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, comment below, and thank you very much for watching.